Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy Cinco de Mayo! Woohoo! It's party time. It's time for our Photoshop party, brought to you by Miller's Professional Imaging. Da 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 da. I have a couple of pictures of this nice young lady. Amy was one of my high school seniors this year. Really sweet girl, 4-point plus GPA, played soccer, played volleyball, and an all-around super nice girl. She had this wonderful picture that, of course, my camera had to fire twice because she blinked. I have the Nikon D850, which has blink detection in it, and it fires twice automatically. And you guys believe that, right? Okay, never mind. That was almost a joke. Almost a joke. I almost laughed at it. So what I want to do is I want to take this picture and put her eyes from this picture onto this picture. And the reason why I'm doing it that way is they liked how much of the number 7 was showing on this one versus this one.
Wow.
Okay, that's just an example, not really what happened, but I'm going to do it anyway. The easiest thing to do is I'm going to take the lasso tool and I'm going to lasso her face. I take more than I have to. In this particular case, all I really need is the eyes. So take the lasso tool, select basically the whole face, hit V for move, and I'm going to drag this over, hold it on top of the tab on the left-hand side, and then drag it down without releasing it, and then release it when it gets to the bottom down there. The reason I do that, I could do a Command C, Command V, which is copy and paste, but don't really need to do it that way. Just drag it over. There's a couple of different ways to see what you're doing with the picture. One, you can drop the opacity of the layer that you brought over down, and you can see to make sure that your eyes are lining up. Let's go and zoom in on the eyes. Use the move tool and get the eyes and nose, everybody all lined up nice and perfect. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is leave the opacity at 100%. Change your layer mode from normal down to difference. Anything that matches up will turn to black. Anything that doesn't match, as you can see in the eyes there, are well lit. So as I move the face around, you can see that it matches up except for the eyes, which is okay. I don't mind if the eyes don't match because they're not supposed to. And then take it back up to normal mode. Let's back out a little bit, Command minus. And just so you can see where I have the second layer, I'm going to Command or Control click on the layer icon, the picture. As you can see, that's the area that's not showing up or that we had to bring over. So Command D to deselect it. And there is some slight variation there. So all I'm going to do is add a layer mask. Go to B for brush. Get a slightly larger brush. Paint it with black. Opacity and flow at 100%. And just paint around where you don't need it. And to show you what we painted, that's all I painted right there. And I have a hard edge brush and I don't want that. I want a soft edge brush. So I'll take the hardness down to 0 and then paint again to make sure. If you have a hard edge brush, all of the lines where the brush went are going to show up. If you use a soft edge brush, they don't show up as well. So you can see the difference. There is a slight movement right up here. And what I'm doing is turning off and on the layer. And I'm looking for different things that might be moving, which shows that they're out of place. So paint that over again. And it helps if you work with a black versus a dark gray. My color was actually a dark gray. So now when I turn the layer on and off, all you see is the eye is changing.
And you can see the forehead change a little bit.
What's that? Okay. That's the fastest way to change eyes really quick. So I'm going to close that out. Don't save. Close. And I'm going to go to another image. I have two images, so I'm going to do photographing a team session. All the kids look really great in this picture except for the big kid in the back. And I pick on him only because of the hat he's wearing. That's the reason I'm picking on him, as well I should. And we'll go to this one. He's not looking directly into the camera, but I don't expect him to because he's wearing a Giants hat. I never expect any cooperation. So what I'm going to do is do the same thing. Take my lasso tool. Need to change the hat, but I won't do it on this episode. I'm just going to... Sorry, I'm losing it. This time I'm just going to copy and paste. So Command C, copy, click on this version, Command V, paste, and it's almost ready to go just like it is. Move the shirt up so it matches really quick. And then change the top layer to difference. Now, this is probably the first time you've seen the layer mode difference used. So I got to figure out where I'm going to match up. And you can use your up and down and left and right arrows to nudge the image to get it into the best place you can get it. Or you can drag it back and forth. I like the up and down arrows and the side to side arrows because you only move a little bit at a time. If you hold the shift key down, you move a whole bunch. Change it to normal. And there's a slight difference in the shoulder area. So what I'll do is add a layer mask. B for brush. Make sure I have my black brush showing. Soften around the edge there. Soften around there. Just that quick, you can change one head to the other. And then all the other girls and boys are smiling in there. Everybody's happy. And we talked about, let me flatten this down real quick, Command E to flatten it. We talked about the liquefy filter in the very first episode of our Photoshop parties. And you can see I have facial recognition turned on, and it's recognizing that everybody has a facial recognition. So I could pick face number, I don't even know what number she's going to be. That's the thing about facial recognition. You never know which face it is. You actually do something to it. And again, I can't tell which one it is. There is a way to identify them. Okay, if you right click on them, wow, this does not want to play. I know that's not face number one. Nope, face number 7. Okay, she is face number 1. Wow, I didn't think it would be face number 1.
Maybe because it's closest to the camera?
Or just as the first one it identified.
It might be. You know what? There is no rhyme or reason as to the numbering on facial recognition, but I want to give her a slightly bigger smile. So I'm going to go to mouth, and we're going to add some smile. Upper lip, a little bit of smile. Lower lip, a little bit of smile. And of course, if you do eyes, you can do that as well. Add a little bit of smile in the eyes and you got it made. So I just wanted to show you that facial recognition recognizes all of the kids there. Click OK, goodbye. Ta-da.
How did you actually identify that she was number 1? Was there a way to number them?
What you do is you right click on them, or if you're on a PC, or I'm sorry, on a Mac, let me open it up again. Z for zoom. I'm going to pick this guy, for instance. I'm going to control click on his face.
Ah.
Yeah, he's face number 1.
Interesting. He's number 14.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So if you click on their face, you don't even have to control click or right click. You just click on their face and it will identify which one it is. So if I click on him, and I don't know why I'm getting my untitled brushes up here, other than my computer doesn't want to play, as usual. Let's give him a bit of a smile. Oh wait, he's the coach. We have to have the mean smile. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. Took the smile down. Upper lip, got to bring it down. Lower lip, bring it up. So it gives a little bit of look. And then we'll go with eye tilt. There we go. Tilt them all the way to the right. And he's got that mean look. I like it. Oh, we got to squint his eyes too. So we'll do them both together. Squint the eyes. Make him look like a real coach. Mean, vicious. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a project that was given to me by one of my clients. She walks in and hands me an 8x10. She said, let me turn these off. Hang on. The lady in white goes with the man on the left. The lady in black goes with the man on the right. But the person that photographed him decided he wanted to do it his way, as all photographers do. It's my way or the highway. So what she wanted me to do was to swap out so that the lady on the left went with the correct person. I think it took me longer to figure out how I was going to do it versus how I did it. First thing I did was decide that I'm going to go ahead and select her out. And actually, I selected out the lady on the left and then moved people around, added this lady to the left side. Then I added that lady to the right side and did some cleaning up of the image. So how do you select? Let me close those out again. Make a copy, Command J. How do you select just this lady? The fastest way is the new Select Object brush or tool. Just go around here, select her, and it should, if everything works right, just select her. I got a little spot down in the bottom right-hand corner that didn't get caught. So I'll hit the Option or Alt key, and I'll circle that area, and it will take care of her. Zoom in on her right, do the same thing with the object selection tool, do Option or Alt, circle this area. You don't have to be precise when you circle it because it's going to suggest, okay, I don't want that, so goodbye. Couldn't find an object to subtract. Okay, so in that case, I will go to Quick Selection tool, hold the Option or Alt key. Whoops, I want to add it, so I hold the Shift key down. She's now selected. I'll put her up on her own layer. So Command J to put her on a layer. We can move her to this side now, but now we have to move the other lady over to this side. So I'm going to turn that layer off. Background copy, and do the same thing all over again. I'm going to do the object selection tool. Let it work. And we missed a little bit of hair right up there because actually she don't have any hair on that side. That's suit.
Looks like you cloned something over it.
It could be.
She had hair in the bottom in the original.
Well, let's take her from the original then. Oh, that's because I'm working off the wrong copy. Duh. And D to deselect. Let's go back to the copy of the background that I did. And we'll do it all over again. How many people do music in their head while they're playing with Photoshop?
You're the only one.
I find that hard to believe. I really do.
Are you holding down the Shift key or the Option key when you're doing this addition part?
Doing the addition, I'm holding the Shift key down.
Key.
But
Okay.
if you don't want to hold the Shift key down, you can click on the upper left up here where it looks like a copy, where it's automatically in shift mode.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but
No, good question. Because I wasn't explaining what I was doing because I was going so fast. And I'm just kind of circling around the areas where I want to add to make her her selection. And it looks like I've got a pretty okay selection, so I'll go Command J to lift her off. So now I've got, turn that one off, turn that one on. I've got her over there, the one in the white, and then I've got the one in the black. So I'll hit move her over to the right, move her over to the left. And basically all you're going to do now is just kind of put them over where the other person was. And to select between the two layers, if you don't have auto select on, which I turned mine off because it's annoying when I try to select, just hit Command or Control and click on the layer, and it automatically selects the layer with the white lady. Move her over to there. And now comes the hard part, cloning out all of this stuff around. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with the cloning part of it, but you can see I did a layer mask up on this layer up on top. And I need to close Photoshop for a second, get rid of that United Untitled Brushes ABR. And I don't know why that keeps showing up. Don't save. Closing. Okay, so we're back to this.
Mike, you have a question.
I have an answer.
Have you considered moving the gentleman instead?
I did not consider that because that's not what she wanted. My client decided she wanted to have the ladies moved.
Okay.
And
I was
You center
thinking
the
same
guy's
thing
eyes.
because of the way their eyes were looking in other directions.
they're both looking opposite directions, which didn't help. Get rid of that.
As a bunch of photographers, we all saw the same thing. If we move the guys, they'd at least be looking into the frame rather than out of the frame.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's
then,
a hazard of being a photographer.
that would be too easy too. I think it would have been much easier to move the guys and clone the suits in. But I just work here, dude. I do what she asked me to. Then she decides, let me get, this is what she wanted for a final product.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it took a little while. It took me longer to figure out how to do than to actually do it. So, and you can see on my right side, wow. I'll move it over here and get it out of the brusher. I don't know why that keeps showing up. You can see I added a couple layer masks and moved things around and cut people off and just masked it off, made it nice and clean on the background. And she was happy, very, very happy. And that's what matters. You do what your client asks you to do and you make them happy. Okay, that's pretty much it for the head swaps. We could sit here and do a bunch all day long, but we could also flatten this image. So we'll go in and flatten, discard hidden layer, sure, why not? And then make a copy layer, change it to color. And I'm gonna make this a dark red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush at 10% this area right here and paint it. And I'm doing it 10% just so I can build it up where I want it. You cannot paint on white. You can only paint on grays. You can't paint on black. So if I tried to paint this on a black area, it wouldn't paint. But if I paint it on gray, it will paint. So you can paint in color mode, or you can change the mode of the layer to color if you want to color things in. And so I'll change the color again. Let's go to brown will work. I'll bump it up to 50%, bring it down a little bit. So this is how you colorize an image. It's just painting on the grays. And you can go in, make his tie blue. So we're on color mode, so let's go ahead and make it blue. Oh, that's kind of purplish. Let's do that. B for brush. Make it small to get next to there. And a little trick when you're painting is if you dab it right there at the edge, hold the shift key. And what that does, it makes a straight line. So I'll do the right side, hold the shift key. And I have to do it a few times because it's not painting all the way through because I have it at 50%. If I had 100%, it would paint right over the top of it with no problem. Any questions while I'm doing this? No questions, good.
Between just putting a empty layer above it and painting on the layer.
You could do that as well. Let's go ahead and do that, see how it works. I'll put a new layer on and we'll use slime green for his suit. Change it to color mode down at the bottom. Thank you. So you could do the same thing, just doing a blank layer. I used just a copy of the layer, Command J. And you notice I don't have to be extremely precise on the right-hand side because I actually do a little bit. Because it's white over there, it shouldn't pick up a whole lot. And if you do that, no big deal. Just go to your layer mask. And paint it out. Or you can use your eraser brush and erase it out if you like doing that. You could probably paint this over in probably half an hour, get the faces colored properly and do all that stuff. I just go in and paint and have some fun with it.
This is so much easier than Marshall Oils used to be.
You know, I hear you on that one because I tried those. I went to a convention and I forget who was, Lori Rose was showing the Marshall Oils. And I went and I bought me a set and I tried doing it. Oh God, that was a pain in the butt. I was not good at that. Questions? Where can we go from here right now? Which direction you want to go?
Can you show us how to make realistic shadows where there are none?
No?
Okay.
I can show you how to make a shadow. I don't know how realistic.
You're a big help.
Okay, let's go to, I got to find a picture that'll work.
How come when I see myself on camera, I look like my mother?
I'm not even gonna.
When
You're
did
not
that
supposed to
happen?
admit that in public.
What?
You're not supposed to admit that in public.
Yeah, but I so understand how you feel. I do the same thing.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with my mom, but where did that come from?
Okay, let me get back into sharing again.
It's called genetics.
Oh, yeah, that.
You could always change the lighting.
Ancestry.com could probably help you with that too.
Yeah, no. I know what my ancestors are. We're Polish Jews. It was easy.
You know,
Polish Jews or Jewish Poles?
Whatever. What's the difference?
The amount of alcohol.
well,
I'm sure it's vodka, not just alcohol.
when you go to the polls to vote, then it's Jewish Poles.
Oh,
Then you go to, never mind, shut up.
This is degrading quickly.
It's gone downhill quickly.
So what's
yes.
new, Kevin?
Still
Just a
recorded,
reminder,
right?
folks, just a reminder, we are being recorded.
No.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm just going to go up to select subject. Click on that, let it select the can for me. And it did a mighty fine job of selecting the can. I'm going to Command J to bring it up on its own layer. So now we have it up on a layer by itself. If I add a new layer and fill it with white, and if you look at my colors right now, green is my primary color and white is my background color. If I hit Option or Alt Delete, it's going to turn the background green. If I hold the Command or Control key on a PC and click Delete, it's going to fill it with white.
Delete.
And there we go. It filled it with white. I'm going to paint on the cans. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Command plus. Up, 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 up. Hit D for default colors. D will bring it up black and white. And take a soft edge brush at about 20%. And I'm just going to go around the bottom of the can right here. And you don't have to be super precise when you're doing this because it's going to build up. But it does work better if you're more precise than not. Let's go out a little ways. Command Z, make it a bigger brush. The person that has, I'm not liking this at all.
No.
Me either.
Like I'm totally hating it. The person that has a great tutorial on this is Aaron Nace. He does a fantastic tutorial on this. And what you do is you start off really wide on the outside. And then go in smaller on the inside, just under the can. And go in smaller again, just under the can. And you just kind of build up.
you keep the flow at 100%.
You can bring it down. I was painting with opacity at 20%. So if you bring the flow down to say 50, yeah, 52 is close enough. You can do just about the same thing. And I don't like where I got the color over here. So if I hold my tilde key and just paint it out, it erases, but it also erases not just the paint that I put on there, but it also erases out the white background that I filled it with. So that didn't work. That did not work whatsoever. So hit X and paint it back in with white. And what you can do is just keep building. The closer you are to the can, the more you want to have your shadow showing. So you want a little bit darker closer to the can and then less on the outside area.
Thank you.
I suck at shadows. As print comp judges will tell you, I suck at shadows. And I'll be the first to admit it. But that's kind of the way that Aaron Nace shows how to do it.
Okay, that's never how I've done it, but good to see another way.
Yeah, just
Mine don't work that well.
go to flern.com.
Oh, okay.
phlearn.com, and he'll show you how to do the shadows very well. I mean, he's really good at it.
Thanks.
Don't say goodbye.
Michael,
Okay. Yes.
that you had done a week or so ago, back there on that same page there, in the upper right-hand corner there, sending a photo like to airdrop it from there to my iPhone. Can you go through that again? I tried to do that and it just, nothing happened.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to share again. Da 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 da. Share screen. Photoshop. Let's add our Coke can back in. Okay, everybody sees a Coke can right now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. In the upper right-hand corner, you have the share button up here. You see the share button, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Share an image. You click on that, and you can mail, airdrop, get your untitled brushes thing in the way.
We're not seeing that brush problem, so.
No, we're not
Oh,
seeing.
lucky you. It's annoying. Probably if you airdrop, which I'm not sure my phone is connected to airdrop or not with this. Turn it on.
See, that didn't pop up when I clicked that.
So your phone's got to be on though to get it.
Your
Yeah, it was
phone,
on.
for airdropping, you have to have your phone on.
Unlocked. It has
It
to
was
be in
on
the
or
unlocked.
unlocked. So I don't know, there's something going on.
And there's my desktop. I just,
AirDrop on your phone.
Oh, how do you turn that on? AirDrop on. Never mind. That's something else.
that's a
That
lesson
might be
all
the
by
problem.
itself.
Yeah, because if your device isn't showing up when you hit AirDrop there, then that probably means AirDrop is not on your phone side.
Yeah, I've got AirDrop and clicked on everyone. So I just presumed that's on. That's interesting.
Is AirDrop on your computer on?
Should, oh. I'll go look later.
Okay.
Okay, I'll check it later. But I just needed to go over these. I'm seeing what I'm doing wrong or what's not happening. That's helping.
It works great. I've been using it a lot ever since Mike showed us, and man, I love that little feature.
What do you use it for?
Well, what I
use
use
it to get a small image and send it to my phone to post on Instagram.
Right.
Ah,
That's exactly what I was trying to do this morning.
and I use it to bug Mel. When I come
Yep.
up with an image, I'll send them a text with it. But what I just did is I clicked on the send a message or share. I clicked on mail and sent one to John, who just asked the question. I sent the Coke can to you, so you should have that in the mail.
Or you can use messages if your instant messenger is turned on there.
Right, and you can also, if your computer is logged into Facebook or Instagram or any of those, you can send it straight to Facebook and Instagram from here as well. So you got to make sure that it's hooked up. This computer is not hooked up to that, so I'm not doing that.
much easier than the way I've been doing it. Okay.
Yeah, it's really quick.
Yeah.
And
Easy
you can
as,
pick a smaller size as well.
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for definitely. Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
Yes, ma'am.
on that shadow, have you ever done the FX, the bottom there where you make
Do a drop shadow?
drop shadow, and then manipulated the shadow?
Well, we can do that right now. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and go to select subject. Da 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 da. It's magic, folks. Command J to put it up on its own layer. I am going to go to FX down at the bottom now here. Effects, super effects, and go to the bottom where it says drop shadow. Move this up out of the way. And what you can do is you don't have to adjust anything up here on the menu unless you want to change distance or opacity, especially opacity. You can change opacity. But what you can do is you can just drop it down and drag it. You see where my cursor is down here? I'm just dragging it over a little bit. Spread. We're going to spread it a little bit, make it softer. Back up again. And just play with the sliders up there. And if you put it on a smart object, you can change your layer to a smart object, which we can do right now. Convert to smart object. You can change that fairly quickly. Go back into your drop shadow again. Drop the size down a little bit because I don't like the size. Move it over. I like painting in the shadow myself. It just seems to work better for me.
But you can move the shadow so
You
it
can-
falls to the side if you want.
You can do all kinds of stuff with the shadow. Just
Yeah.
dragging it
But
around.
you can turn it too. You can make it lay to the side.
You can change the angle. One of the things about the angle, you see right next to angle, there's global light. If you have multiple layers and you have global light checked, it's going to make sure that your shadow goes together. The light's going to be the same in every layer that you add the shadow to. So if I add another layer, it automatically puts it at the same light at 116 degrees. If I uncheck it, I can have the shadow on one layer up high, one shadow on the other layer down low, to where it just doesn't match. So just to let you know that can be done as well. Okay, let's go back to history, open, go back to layers. How about this? Today is Cinco de Mayo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select half the can. So I'm going to use my marquee tool, M for marquee. I'm going to select the bottom half of the can and do a Command J on it. So now we have half a can and the rest of the can. I'm going to add a hue and saturation adjustment layer. Move this guy over here. And I'm going to change the hue to green. There we go. That's a nice green. We like that. But wait, it did both layers. So if I hold the Option or Alt key and click between the two layers that I want to do, between layer 1 and the adjustment layer, it creates the clipping mask, which will clip it to just layer 1. You can also go up here and find clipping mask, which is down here, create a clipping mask, and it does the same thing. Well, shoot, I don't like green. My client says they want blue. Double click on my adjustment layer, move this out of the way. There we go. Red, white, and blue for Cinco de Mayo. Yay! Just that easy to change it. It still has the color or the clipping mask connected to it. So if I option between the whole can is blue. Turn it back on, just the bottom half is blue. You could go up and do, for that layer, somewhere up here there's adjustments and stuff. I like using the adjustment layers because you can go back and change it anytime you want. You can also mask it, so click on the mask, get my B for brush, and mask out where I don't want the blue. Just that easy. Easy peasy.
Cool.
Question number 433, who's up? Anybody?
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm tapping out right now.